All right, team, this is the notes on area and perimeter. So today we're going to be talking about shapes that are not circles, so anything with a line, straight lines. So we're going to be talking about three major ones. So the first is area of a triangle, which you might remember is 1/2 times base times height. Or some people sometimes like to write base times height divided by 2. You can do either one of those. And then your area of a rectangle is length times width. So your longest side times your height, or base times height. Sometimes people will write it like that. And then the area of a trapezoid. So trapezoids look like this, and they have what's called base 1 and base 2. And we have to find the average of those bases, which means that we're going to do base 1 plus base 2. So like basically the top and the bottom divided by 2, and then we multiply that times the height. So you'll see it written like that. And then finally, we have, in order to find the perimeter of an all straight-sided shape, you should add up all the sides. Right, so you guys have seen that before for perimeter. So example 1 says, isosceles triangle A is to the left. Right, so here we see that. The word isosceles means it has two sides that are the same. So we can see that they're marked by these tick marks here. So if that's 5, then this is also 5 here. And this is triangle A. They tell us that. It says, what is the perimeter of triangle A? So perimeter means that we're going to add up the sides. So I'm going to start at one corner. I'd say this is 5 plus 5 plus 6. So I'd have 5 plus 5 plus 6, which is 16. And it says here that it's in feet. So I'm going to write 16 feet. And then next it asks me about the area. And area is base times height divided by 2. And I know that the base, the bottom number, is 6. So I know that that's 6 divided by 2 here. But I need to know what the height is. And the height is not this side over here. That's a diagonal. So it is not that side. So what I need to know is I need to know how tall this is here. Right? So if I need to know that side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to think, okay, if I'm splitting this in half, because I see that they're equal on both sides, then this must be the same as that. So that means if this whole thing is 6, then this side here must be 3, this section here. So I see that this is a 90-degree angle, and I can see that that's a triangle there. And I can use Pythagorean Theorem if I want. I can use 3 squared plus x squared, I don't know what that is, equals 5 squared. Or I can remember that this is a right triangle, so it's 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. So I know that the height is 4. So I'm going to do 6 times 4 is 24 divided by 2, which would be 12. And this is area, so it would be feet squared. That's going to be our area for the triangle. So I need to find out the height, and then I can do that. And finally, if you flip over to the back, we have example 2, and it's telling us about the parallelogram that we have. It means the sides are parallel to each other, so WX and ZY are parallel, as well as ZW and YX are parallel. So the first thing they want to know is the perimeter. So I know that if this is 18, then this side over here would also be 18. And I know that if this is 13, then this side would also be 13. So my perimeter would be 13 plus 18 plus 13 plus 18. I know 13 and 13 make 26, and 18 and 18 make 36. And I can add those together, and I get 62. 62, and it says feet. So I'm going to write feet here. All right, cool. So then I'm going to clear out this part since we're done with perimeter. So ask for the area this time. And the area is base times height. If you could imagine, like this section here is actually technically going to fill up this region right here. Right, so you can see that it would make like a rectangle type shape. And that's why it's the same formula as a rectangle, because we could take this section out and we could fill this section with it. So we could take out this over here and put it right here, and that would make that rectangle shape. So it's base times height, and so we know the base is 18, right? Because that's what the top is at the top there. We just need to know this section here, right? So I can see that this is a triangle. I see that it's a right triangle here, and I see that the triangle is 5 by something, and then it has a hypotenuse of 13. So I could use 5 squared plus x squared equals 13 squared. My calculator, 13 squared is 169. 25 plus x squared. Subtract 25 on each side. I get x squared equals 144. Take the square root of both sides. X equals 12. So I know that the height here is 12. I could also remember, if I'm into my triples, that it's 5, 12, 13, 5, 12, 13, right? So I know that the height is going to be 12. So the base is 18 and the height is 12. So I can multiply those numbers together. Let's see, 18, 12, 16, 2, 0, 8, 1. So 196. So 196 feet squared would be my area. So just playing around with area today. Thanks, guys.